I was disgusted, but I was laughing. Now, I don't know about all of your background because the whole jokes thing, I grew up fat, ugly, weird. So, and
Oh,
I'm from St. Louis. Everybody used to turn me up. You're not seeing me now because like I can say how like when you made the comment when you was like you can find 15 things, I can do that too. Like, and I'm trying not to do it as much because I'm trying to be a child of God. But like I'll look at somebody, I'll just see stuff and I'll be like, if you find one thing about me, I'm gonna find three about you. And if I start losing, I'm gonna start talking about your mama. So what's up, y'all? So we have expanded. All right. P.S.A. the ghostwriting solution. We got another ad here, obviously, has expanded. And now we are specialized curriculum development and reading and history for K through 12. So what does that mean? Why to choose us? So this is expertise in K through 12 education. All right. So this is custom curriculum development, curriculum length options, consultation revision, and additional resources. Also, we have a la carte options. So if in case your school for the private and public schools does not want the full shebang, guess what? You can do the a la carte options, which includes the curriculum design, the lesson plans, the multimedia content, assessments, the education guides, interactive activities, reading lists, resource compilations, and historical source collections in case, again, you don't want the full shebang. So as always, reach out to me at PSA, thepodcast.com, or my email, theprodigyperspective@gmail.com. Hit me up. Just like that, we are back with another episode of PSA, the Mental Health Podcast. Super high five episode. I'm excited about this one. I got a lot I got to cover, but last week was a lot. All right, last week we had to break it into two parts because originally that episode was supposed to be one part, but I had to put it into two parts because Buddy was spitting, and I don't believe in cutting people off because when the more people talk, that means that's the more comfortable that they are. Now I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit today. So today's episode was try not to say this word on here often, but here we are. Today's episode in this process was niggas nigging because I had a time I had set up and I was late, but it wasn't my fault. And then the guest was like, "Okay, bet that's cool." Then he was late, but I couldn't be mad at him because it's like I started it, so he only matching energy, so I can't even be mad. But yeah, so we got a great episode. But before we get too deep, let me get first start off with the preface of the episode. So you know how on Instagram, social media, just in conversation, people always be like, "Yeah, I'm in the lab. I'm in the lab. You know, making moves. We moving this silence. All that. Them favorite phrases everybody use, but never have nothing to show for it." This episode is an in-depth case study of that. So let's first off pop it off with this week's meme. The meme reads, "Many use in the lab as an excuse not to put out content. Even Dexter left his laboratory." Inspirations for this week come from a few places. So the first one comes from obviously the show Dexter's Laboratory, however you want to say it, tomato, tomato. And that was a great show. And, you know, I feel like that was an exaggeration of a lot of us content creators and just creators in general with Dexter's Laboratory. Of course, you don't have no big scientific, science lab in your room, but you may have a big studio space or workspace. And hell, even in reality, your space could be in your head in your nasty, dirty bedroom that you refuse to clean. I know what y'all be doing. Next inspiration comes from I think about Goku, Dragon Ball Z, when he was in the chamber on Planet Namek when he had the breathing tubes and things in his nose and he was sleeping, he was like getting healed up, ready to fight. I think about that too. That was inspiration. And then obviously inspiration comes from the infamous phrase in the lab, which shall be dissected in many ways today. As always, y'all know I love to rant before I get this interview going. So let's get into the first segment for the day, which is happy hour. Now, for today's happy hour, I want to talk about a phrase, the exception to the rule. So, you know how they say rules can be broken, and you know how you go places and they always will say things like, they always have like unwritten exceptions to the rule, right? So, like, when I think of this, I think about like one of my logics is if I can tell where you got your fit from 9 times out of 10, you probably ain't that probably ain't that fly. Are there exceptions to that rule? Absolutely. I've seen people who've been fashioned over head to toe, but they made it look good and they did it in their own way. So that's the exception to the rule. I'm the exception to the rule because, I mean, depending on who you ask, I'm not really that fat now no more. But you know how fat people have a smell? It's like it don't stink, but it don't smell good either. Well, I never had that smell, right? So that's another exception to the rule. Another exception to the rule that I also think about is when people always posting themselves at the gym and they not getting no progress. But to the world, it's like you always at the gym, so I know you fit. They're not. That's an exception to the rule. And that's not no shade. That's just being honest because I've been there before and they had to say, what am I not doing right? But I think some people get comfortable and sometimes you may get a little results, but then you start to plateau. So you got to make the adjustment. And I think a lot of us haven't made that adjustment yet. But everything I say is with love. So let this be your reminder and not just go off the scale, go off your clothes too. Because sometimes I've even had cases where I went to the gym and was going regularly and my clothes was getting tighter. And not because I was getting buff, because I was getting fat. So clearly I wasn't doing something right. Because how you go to the gym 4 times a week and you gaining weight. And then, like I said, you ain't gaining muscle, you gaining fat. That's a problem. So that was the exception to the rule. Also, you know how like businesses, right? Most of us having a business. You got your rules and regulations, but let's keep it 100. You got your people you may make an exception to. I do think as a community though, black people, even though some of us business owners may make exceptions to that rule, I don't want us to try to take advantage of that when we using somebody else's business because this is how they got to eat too. And sometimes I think we think like, oh, this is my cousin, this is my big bro. I feel like if that's your people, you should actually pay more. And I want you to send this to somebody who has a business. Post this in your story and say, and let me do the talking for you. I have a business. This is how I pay my bills, how I feed my kids. This is how I keep putting out whatever I'm doing. I need you to pay full price. If you my brother, you my sister, you my cousin, like you say you are, I need you to pay full price. See, you ain't even had to do nothing. I did it for you. All right, y'all. So that's enough of my rant today. Now I have a great guest who it's funny how God be aligning stuff. And you're gonna see why in a second. This person I reached out to on Instagram because everybody know I'm gonna shoot my shot when it comes to interviews. And like I said, they're either gonna say yes or no, or they're gonna leave you on red, or they're gonna say I'm charging you $800. And I'll say, I bet I'm gonna get the funds for you. I usually don't reach back out. And that's how we go with that. But he's definitely got some stuff going on Instagram. He definitely has a unique business of his own. And then on top of that, he didn't post some content that I know we're going to keep this word. We're going to use the word again. It was a little outlandish. But we're going to get into his head today. We're going to allow him to defend himself because I'm all for letting people defend themselves. And that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and introduce my guest to the audience today. My boy, what's going on?
Yes, sir. What's good, boss?
All right, so now let me say this. So for y'all on YouTube, y'all can see this man. This episode is about being in the lab, and when he jumped on the thing, this man was like, "Oh, I'm in the lab right now." That was not planned. I
No
promise you, this
cap.
was not planned. He didn't even know what the episode was about. He just thought it was a regular interview. Um, so how's it going in the lab right now?
Right now we busy, man. I think we got about 20 shoes so far. It's only 1 o'clock p.m. 1 o'clock East Coast. So we're working, man. We're working.
All right, so before we get more into that, obviously the people online can see your name, but I want you, for my audio people, I want you to tell the people what's your name, where you from, and then tell them where you live now.
So my name is Kelechi Asoluka. I'm Nigerian. So my first name means thank God. My last name means fear not. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse. I've been doing exercise classes, but I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I'm currently in about Paramus, New Jersey, so it's like 30 minutes away. Um, I had to get out the hood for a little bit, but
For sure.
right now I am in Paramus right now. Yeah.
Okay, now tell the people. Now, like I said, I've seen it on Instagram, but tell the people what all that you do.
All right, so I was a personal trainer for about 2012, so 12 years. I've been training, doing group classes. I had my own gym for 5 years. During COVID, obviously they shut the gym down, so I had to make a transition. So I had about 400 shoes in my basement, and I'm like, yo, I'm going broke. I don't. My gym is closed, um, and I got these shoes. I don't want to sell them. I'm gonna just clean them. So I would clean my sneakers on Instagram Live, and then I would go on live with different influencers and sneaker influencers, and then I got my first sale from this guy from California off a live. Like, say I do a live with you, and then one
Yeah.
of your followers hit me up and say, "Yo, can you do the sneaker?" He trusts me. All the way from California, shipped to Jersey. I've been doing business with him for the last 4 years now. But I would just clean shoes on live, and I would clean my own shoes and just tag random people. Literally, that was my marketing scheme. And 4 years later, we in the lab.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So that's a great story. So, you actually answered my next question because the next question asked you to share a bit about your sneaker restoration and how you this sparked your interest, but you just said it. So that's good. So that's good. So it's good to see how once again you were able to pivot from the pandemic.
Yes.
And actually, it's funny because the last week's two-part series was about if another plague hits the earth. I hope y'all don't bow this time because y'all allowed them to run y'all fearful in the house and scare y'all in the house. You let Master scare you in the house, make you lose
Master.
your money. You sat up here and let them tell you couldn't work. So now you had all your businesses you had to shut down. And then if the economy didn't show y'all then, they can take your job at any moment they did it. So that's why with this, nobody can take that. With P.S.A. the ghostwriting solution, nobody can take that. So you know what I'm saying? Is I got everybody got their stuff that I just say that everybody is not meant to be a full-time entrepreneur because some people are meant to work 9 to 5s, but you're gonna have to have some other source of income too, especially in this economy. And that's just um
A fact.
no, for sure. Now, I got a few words and phrases. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, and there's no right or wrong answer. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. The first word is fear.
Fear. The first thing that comes to my mind, fear. I mean, I feel like fear could be good and bad, right?
Okay.
Because you can fear, a higher power,
Right.
which will keep you in line. Because if you don't fear something, you're gonna just act wild. But also, fear can also be a hindrance, right? So, I was scared. I wanted to do sneaker restoration 10 years ago. I got robbed, so that's another story. So I sent my shoes to some guy. I got caught cheating. My girl threw pin all over my shoe, right? I'm hurt because my girl ruined my shoes. I sent my
Right.
shoes out to some guy. I had the Yeezys, the Nike Yeezys, the expensive ones. 2 pairs of those. Sent them out to the guy. It's been 12 years. I still haven't got my parents back to this day.
Wow.
I haven't heard of him. He blocked me on every social media platform, blocked my number, everything. So I really wanted to start then. But me being fearful of how people are going to perceive me and you got a college degree, why you clean the shoes, I never started. So if I would have started 12 years ago when I really wanted to, who knows? I could have had 4 or 5 labs by now.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Because that's crazy. That wow.
So that's that's
Okay.
what that's what made me think of fear. When I thought about it, it kind of triggered that response.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna unpack that a little later. Hold, just give it a second.
All
All
right, no
right.
problem.
So when you hear the phrase in the lab, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I feel like perfecting your craft. So in the lab could be, you could be a chef, you could be a boxer, you're in the gym, you could be a musician, you're in the studio. I just feel like whatever your craft is, you're in that space and you're trying to hone your craft to the best of your ability.
When you hear the phrase a word judgment, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Judgment. I always say, well, most people I know didn't go to law school, so you can't judge. That's my phrase. So you never know what somebody's going through, and they got to get it how they get it. So I try not to judge. I feel like judgment has like a very negative connotation to it. Um, so yeah.
All right, and the last one, when you hear the word procrastination, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Broke.
All right. Good one. All right. So the definition of fear is an unpleasant, often strong emotion caused by anticipation or awareness of danger. In the
Uh-huh.
lab is the ability to be considered to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. Judgment, a place providing opportunity for experimentation, observation, or practice in the field of study. And then procrastination, the act of delaying or postponing something. All right, cool. So let's now go into the next segment, which is what does this have to do with mental health? So now
Gotcha.
let me ask this question. What ways has being part of the sneaker community influenced your professional and personal life?
Being a part of the sticker community. So growing up in the inner city, your shoes are like gold, right? So everybody lives in the projects. Everybody's house is pretty much ran down, or maybe not as good as the suburbs, right? So
Right,
we all pretty much have similar conditions. But when you walk outside, your shoes are like who got money and who don't. Even though technically nobody has money because we wouldn't be living here if we honestly had money, obviously,
right.
right? But so growing up with that mindset, your shoes are everything. People look at your shoes, they judge you off your shoes. I always wanted to have the best shoes. So to keep the shoes the best, I would clean them myself with a toothbrush. Back in the day how we used to do it. Um, it just got worse. I would kind of do anything and everything I could do legally and illegally to get new shoes, right? So once I got my collection up and people started recognizing me and speaking to me, oh, we got the best shoes, we got the best shoes. I started meeting other people from different areas on Instagram, MySpace, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. I met my lawyer through sneakers. I met my few girlfriends through sneakers. I feel like I meet everybody through sneakers because everybody wears sneakers. Rich, poor, fat, skinny, everybody wears sneakers. So I use it as like more of a networking thing for me because it's not what you
Okay.
do, you know.
No, for sure. So the first note I got is it talks about how does it align with mental health. It says the creative process and mental health, and the source comes from according to the connection between art, healing, and public health. Engaging in creative processes such as painting, sculpting, or sneaker restoration can significantly decrease anxiety, enhance mood, improve cognitive function. This study highlights the meditative link or like state achieved during creative activities not only fosters a calming effect, but also promotes a focused and present state of mind, which has been beneficial for mental wellness. So do you find like even now what you're doing, do you find it like a calming, soothing kind of thing? Like as you clean the shoes and getting your orders in, like, yeah,
That's deep. Wow, I never thought about it like that. For me, it was more of a. I feel like I'm helping somebody out.
yeah,
I'm saving somebody money, and I'm making something ugly beautiful again. So, that's how I always thought about it. And then I feel like if you're doing what you like, you'll never have to work, right? So, um, the one of my first customers, his girlfriend died, and the last pair of shoes he messed up. He gave it to me to restore, and he started crying when I gave it back to him.
wow,
From that day, I said, okay, I'm on the right path. So I
yeah.
don't know if I answered your question, but that's how it hit me.
No, you good. You good. You answered it. And it's
Okay.
funny because it aligns with the next post because it talks about hobbies and psychological well-being. It says according to Association of Enjoyable Leisure Activities with Psychological and Physical Well-being, hobbies that are physically engaging and enjoyable, such as sneaker restoration, are linked with lower stress levels, better physical health, and reduced body mass index. The research highlights the importance of leisure activities in maintaining mental health, suggesting that the physical activity involved in hobbies like sneaker restoration not only helps reduce stress, but also contributes to overall physical health, which in turn supports mental well being. So even though with this case, you're doing a lot of moving around, getting the shoes, scrubbing them, doing all that, it's kind of like them videos that's popping out, like them ASMRs, where people will like listen to, like, I don't know, if you got a YouTube channel,
I don't.
you might do that because that's another source you could tap into, like ASMR, like watch me or listen to me clean shoes. I mean, of course, you can drop like little buzzwords and videos on there too, but like
Of
have
course.
like your ASMR playlist, like for people to like listen to you clean shoes. It'll be a bunch of people that watch that and listen to that.
And you know what's crazy? I would do it on my story, and I would have like a little podcast in the back, and I would just clean like a shoe. And people will always say that's very therapeutic, and I never understood that. But now that you're reading this, it's like really click, you know?
But that's the thing, niggas listening to people eating and chewing mozzarella sticks. So if they so they'll listen to that and enjoy it, and you laughing, but I'm serious.
Lots of realistic. Oh, like the food videos in the
Yeah,
car, right?
yeah,
You're right. And they go viral too. They go viral.
yeah, for sure.
You're right.
Now, the third one is the lab time concept and creative field sources. So it's according to job satisfaction, subject well-being at work, spending time in a lab environment, whether a literal laboratory or any place dedicated to intensive study and or development, like the sneaker workshop you in, can significantly enhance job satisfaction and mental health. So this concept can be likened to Dexter's laboratory, whose time inventing and experimenting is pivotal to personal development and satisfaction. So you in the lab right now. So you this is your own place, right? You own this
Yeah.
place. And okay, what made you decide to leave the house and get a spot? Because I know you didn't have that at the beginning.
My neighbors thought I was dealing drugs. People kept coming to my house,
Mm,
and I'm the only black guy on my block. So it's
okay.
called.
Humble flex.
I mean, so so obviously people already looking at me weird, and then I got cars coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm passing bags. They thought I was selling drugs. I said okay, and then it also wasn't safe, right? So it's like I had 12 people come to my house one day, and my shorty was like, "Yo, like you don't think that's cool? Like you think what if somebody spin a
Yeah.
blunt?" You're right, and that's what kind of got me looking for a spot.
So is it just you or you got a whole team?
It's me, it's three of us. It's me. I got a partner that helps me out with the financing part. I have a tech as well that
Okay.
helps with the restoration.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Now, how do you decide or know when a sneaker is ready to leave the lab? Like what signs do you look for?
So we have a checklist. So the customer will come in and tell us, okay, I want this done, this done, this done, this done. So okay, I want to remove the creases, remove the yellowing, repaint the back, and clean the insides. I go through that checklist, bang, 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 bang. Okay, cool. And then I look for other imperfections as well, like rocks in the bottom or lint in the sock liner. Like you know how you have your the sock that leaves lint balls inside the shoe.
Yeah.
You can take that out. Like little minor details that they didn't ask for, but it just makes the shoe look even better. So I go through the checklist first, and then I also look for like little imperfections.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, with that, for those who don't live where you live, can they ship the shoes to you? Like, how does that work? Or is it
Yes,
just
yes, yes. We do have a PO box they can ship it to, as well. And 90. Honestly, about 75% of our orders are from out of state anyway.
yeah,
Crazy.
same.
I don't know why. Like I get Africa, Colombia, Canada, but Jersey won't support me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jersey supports me, but
Hey, I had a point. I was finna go run with it. You cut me off. I was finna say it's never the people in your hometown. It's always the people in the streets.
the
But
strangers,
even
the strangers.
with
Yep.
but the thing with that, that's how it is. It's never the people who gonna support you the hardest. It's the people who know you. It's always the people who don't. Um, Even when I think about that, and you talk about the sneaker restoration, like you literally are bringing something back to life that was dead.
Yeah.
Um, and that's good because a lot of us would just. I know a lot of people that buy. Like I said, I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't even put that title on me, but I do got dummy shoes,
Okay.
and it was like I have the Nike Dunk, the Viotex, the 2020 ones, those colorful ones,
Yeah.
and
They came
I
back out
already
again.
had, huh?
They just came back out.
They
Like,
did,
yeah, they just came back out again. Yep. The Viotech. No. Viotechs are the rainbow joints.
yeah.
All the colors on the dunk. Yeah, they didn't come out again. You're right. They didn't come out again.
Them one of my favorite pair of shoes, and I had already mentally prepared. I'm like, when them hoes go bad, I was like, I'm gonna just have to buy them again. But I don't know if I'm gonna buy them again because I'm like, you'll save more money sending them to you. You know what I'm saying?
So
Versus,
that's the problem. So you buy a shoe because most people don't get it for retail, right? You
yeah,
end up buying it on all these other sites, $300-400, and then you wear it for a couple years, you mess them up, and in 3-4 years they $500, $600. You like, come on,
yeah.
we got kids, bills, mortgages, like we can't be doing that every week.
But even that's the thing, because like, so I have, like I said, I mentioned briefly, I have a ghostwriting service, right? It started off originally in college.
Like songs.
No, no, no. So I'm telling you. So it started off
Uh,
originally as me doing people homework back in the day. That's how it started. And look,
Did you,
so it
hold on, did you stop that?
that's what I'm saying. I said it transitioned into me doing cover letters, resumes, copywriting, technical writing, grant writing. Like I do all that, and I'm a one
Oh,
stop
you
shop.
proved with your audience. So
Yeah.
homework to corporate. Okay, you proved.
Yeah. So I did homework all them years. Like my mama made the joke. She was like, "You only got a bachelor's degree on paper, but in reality, you probably got 10 bachelors, 3 masters." And I didn't got some people through PhDs. I got some people that PhDs. So I got a wealth of knowledge that I didn't even pay for. But you see how they paid me to learn. But no, for real, for sure. Now I want to pick back up on something. I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna go back into it. So the fourth thing with mental health is the social connections through shared interests. So according to the new psychology of health, unlocking the social cure, social connections formed around shared interests can greatly enhance mental health by providing support and a sense of belonging. The study finds that being part of a community, such as in your case, the sneaker community, not only helps to decrease feelings of depression and anxiety, but also promotes an individual's social identity and personal confidence. Now, let's go into that because you mentioned earlier, you said a lot of people I met was through social media because of sneakers, and you had already used your brain to put the connection together to say. So first of all, what was your degree in?
Kinesiology.
Okay, so everything just made sense. So I'm gonna get to that in a second. But okay, so you basically put everything together and said that um I know these people because that means you're smart if you can do that because that ain't no easy degree. So for real. So you said, all right, these people, everybody wears shoes. See, I didn't even think like that. Everybody wears shoes, rich,
Everybody.
poor. So you put them two together and said, okay, I can get a big market. And so with you doing that so early on, you made it to where you the one-stop shop with the shoes. Now, is it interesting because we kind of like in this instance where you can say, because I'm gonna help you in case somebody try to challenge you. You went to school for kinesiology, so to a small brain, they will say, oh, well, you went to school for kinesiology, but you doing sneaker restoration. But the two work because you in the lab, you using your science knowledge, you putting your background in science with your creativity in the lab doing sneaker restoration. But even knowing how to do that is a science because if everybody could do it, nobody would be calling you. So just the
You
screen.
preach. You a pastor?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you giving a sermon right now, brother.
So this part of the episode, put on your story, like pin it when the episode drop, like just that part, pin it. But for real though, because even with me, like I like the fact that I'm a podcaster, I'm a ghostwriter, all that good stuff. I like the fact that I put my degree to use because I do have an English degree. I did teach for some years, but I'm still using my degree because I'm writing. Where somebody may say back in the day, well, that's stupid. You got a degree in English. What you gonna do with that? I'm using mine. So you know what I mean? And it's paying the bills. I ain't gotta teach no more. So
Amen. Amen.
so
Oh,
now,
hold up. Sorry, my fault. My fault. So you got a degree in English,
yeah,
just a bachelor's.
yeah.
But we speak English every day, so technically you're using it regardless.
Well, that too. But see, what most people don't realize about English. So here's the thing, and you might just be brilliant, I don't know. But they say that your brain is either one side, you either math and science or English and history. See, I was the English history side. So like even in high school, I was AP English history, but I was remedial math and science. Science really not that hard when you really look at it. Math,
The science is math. Technically, science is math.
but see, I'm not a math person. So
Ah, that's what threw
yeah.
you off. That's what threw you off.
So with English, what people fail to realize is because they thinking you writing papers all day, but this is what the people fail to realize. You are required to study text, dissect it, what was the author's purpose, symbolism, all this stuff with text you don't care about. So if you can do that with that stuff, you can do it with stuff you actually care about. I find myself watching TV shows dissecting why did the author do this scene? What was the purpose of this character saying that? What is the purpose of this character even in the place? What is the plot? The show has no plot. Like my mind works like that all the time. So even with this, like I know how to take a podcast episode and like produce it. And that's why when certain guests say certain things, I try not to leave it all the way because I'm like, okay, let's push more out of that. Let's bring more out of that. And even like the situation with you being in the lab, like I can't make this stuff up. Everything just aligns like it's supposed to. And you working and still working because you're doing an interview and work. See, this is why y'all need to come to the P.S.A. podcast. You can still, you ain't got to even take off your job. You can still do your work while you doing this. What else though? Because I'm about to transition, so I want to see if there's anything else I want to ask you about the shoes before I move on. Let's see. I pretty much covered everything. Now let's talk about Instagram because it's something else that I put together that I don't know if you put together. So let's get into it. So now nobody said this. I'm saying this. Your Instagram reels are known for being kind of wild, kind of risky, kind of controversial. How does your sense of humor influence your brand and client interactions?
So naturally, I'm a clown.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
I could look at somebody and just think about 15 jokes off the rip. I try not to say them all, obviously, because they're kind of offensive. But well, all right. So a little background. In eighth grade, well, I have a unibrow like Anthony Davis. I have a unibrow, right? So my barber separates it from me every 2 weeks ago. But this one guy came in the cafeteria and was like this, and everybody started laughing. I was in eighth grade. I'll never forget. I said that'll never happen again. So ever since then, I've been on full blitz. Like if I see somebody, I think about jokes before they even say hi. So if they come to me nice, it's cool. If they don't, I already got the jokes ready. You know. So all day, like school, I make jokes. Class, I make jokes. At work, I make jokes. At the gym, I make jokes. I just make jokes all day. So if I see something, I could just see humor in it, you know, and then I'll just like kind of twist it. And a lot of people say, "Yo, Kelechi, you need a PR manager. You're a little wild," but I bring, I make you laugh, and then I bring you in. That's how I get my customers. I attract my customers with laughter, and they say, "Oh, what does he do?" "Oh, I know you got sneakers. If you can laugh, I know you got sneakers." So it works hand in hand.
But see, that's the thing, because that's the stuff that you doing, and I don't want to gas you up because I kind of relate, but that's genius stuff. Like that's literal, like on paper, genius ways of thinking, and even like how because I had got that vibe when I was looking. I'm like, because I saw you. The first video I ever saw was I'm gonna get in that in a second. But because I saw one of my homeboys followed you, but he didn't repost you. I had just saw it on my explore page. But the video I saw, which I'm about to go into, we got to talk about. But the one that I had saw, I was thinking, I looked at your page and saw the stuff that you're doing, like you doing the classes, you doing the sneaker restoration. So I'm thinking, okay, he doing these wild, funny videos to get attention to bring to his businesses, because the logic is if 100 people see it, 15 of them probably gonna be interested. So and everybody can't come to the class, but then it's like everybody wears shoes, and then it's like somebody gonna look into it, and if they don't, they gonna send it to somebody. So it's just gonna keep Now with that, so mental health, posting risky wild videos. You posted a video of you, the one I saw where it was like when you go to Diddy's something, it was like something with Diddy. Now I seen the video, I was disgusted, but I was laughing. Now I don't know about all of your background because the whole jokes thing, I grew up fat, ugly, weird. So, and I'm
Oh,
from St. Louis. Everybody used to turn me up. You're not seeing me now because like I can say how like when you made the comment when you was like you can find 15 things, I can do that too, like, and I'm trying not to do it as much because I'm trying to be child of God, but like I'll look at somebody, I'll just see stuff and I'll be like, if you find one thing about me, I'm gonna find three about you, and if I start losing, I'm gonna start talking about your mama. So but I live in Houston and I learned going to college out here, people in the South really take their mama jokes personal, and where I'm from, I'd rather you talk about me because you don't know her. So you can say whatever you want. You don't know her. But you talking about me, you know me personally, so I'm going to take them more personal. Now, Diddy, who was somebody's father, you made the joke about, which we're going to show the clip, and you was sitting in the chair like when I go to Diddy's house, and then it was squirting lotion on your face as if it was something else.
of course.
Now, what was the inspiration Well, I know what the inspiration was behind that. Everybody just research Diddy, and you're gonna just type it in your search bar. You're gonna see why. Um, what provoked you to do that?
So I didn't post a reel in a while. A while for me is like a day or two. I feel like itchy to post. You know what I mean? Like Nike posts every day, Rick Ross posts every day. They rich. I need to post every day. No excuses. I didn't post a reel in a while. I said, okay, I need to do something. And I saw somebody post an R. Kelly video, and he was just peeing everywhere, talking about some at an R. Kelly concert, getting water all over him. Diddy thing was coming out. I was making breakfast. My company was there. I said, you know what? Come here. You got some lotion? She's like, yeah. I said, let me get that lotion over here. Just squirt it on my face when I say on I count to three. She goes, what? I said, squirt it on my face right here. Make sure you aim right here. So she kept missing. I'm like, yo, I need it here. And I need you to keep going for like 10 seconds and make it very dramatic. She's like, okay. So we did that. She got a couple of my strawberries or whatever, but that's fine. No lotion never killed nobody. But that was inspiration. I needed something funny, something shocking to get the people going. I didn't know it was gonna go this crazy, but it went crazy.
Okay, so now I have to ask you because it's clear you have a dark, twisted sense of humor. What inspired that growing up? Because I'm gonna tell you what inspired mine, but I want you to tell me yours first. Because you ain't born with that. So what inspired yours?
I mean, I'm from the innocent. What's so funny story, no cap. This is my little brother and I were a part of we're from Newark, New Jersey, right? So you just Google Newark, you see what's going on. It's nice now, but it wasn't sweet when we was growing up in the 90s and 2000s. So it was Jersey City versus Newark. It was a dance battle. We going crazy. So after every battle in the skating rink, it'll usually be a fight. So I said, yo, we gotta shock the world. So what you gonna do? We were doing a heel toe and all that stuff like that, all the dances back in the day. I need you to take the lotion and shoot it in the air like you just jizzed on the dude. The whole skating rink went crazy. So it was a club beat. The club beat. Everybody doing the club beat now. Lil Uzi Vert, all right, they're all doing the club beats. But we were playing them beats in 2001. So when the beat goes, I guess real fast, I said shoot the lotion up. So he's shooting the lotion. Lotion gets all over the skating rink floor. Crowd goes crazy. I never forget that day because it was a big fight after that. My brother was like, I was 12, so he was 9 at the time. He shouldn't even be in the club at the time. We just got him in because I was cool with the owner. Statute of limitations or whatever. So we did the shoot up the squirt video with the lotion. I always remembered that, so that kind of triggered it too. I don't know where I got that from, but it worked, and the crowd went crazy. We won the battle. I don't know if we won the fight because me and my brother ran out there, but you know what I mean. That was that.
So with that, so like for me, I have a very dark sense of humor, but I also used to watch, which I shouldn't have been. I used to study and just watch. I say study because obviously it's embedded in me now, but I used to watch Mad TV, Saturday Night Live, and Family Guy like religiously. Like I
Oh, we
used
didn't
to
have
watch.
cable. We ain't have cable. We got watch. We watched
What's that?
Martin and Will Smith. That was regular TV.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was watching. And well, the thing, Mad TV and Saturday Night Live came on regular TV at night, but it was like Saturday nights. So,
Oh,
but
but it's late night, right? Like 9, like 11.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. He said he was sleepy. But but yeah, so I used to watch them, and that's why my sense of humor is awkward, weird, and in that, but I've learned to lean into it because the more I lean into it, it seems like it helps me. Now, when we talk about leaning into something, that's a great segue into perfectionism. So when you started the sneaker restoration and all that good stuff, and even the comedy on Instagram, because like I said, I'm sure you made a comment like it's some stuff I've been posting. I'm like, this gonna get them. And let me give an example of that before we get into perfectionism. So I posted a clip from my podcast last season. Sexy Red, she from St. Louis. Now it was a clip. I barely did any hashtag. I didn't even pay for no ads, nothing. And I said in that clip, and it's still on my page, I was like, Sexy Red said, I ain't no scary, I'm a hoe. I said, so why y'all doing the same stuff she doing and y'all saying y'all not a hoe? Just say I'm a hoe. It's okay. No one's, this is a judgment-free zone. You're a hoe. It's okay. Hell have no fury like a woman scorn. They was tearing me up. I can't stand you podcast niggas. Y'all just be saying anything. If I want to do the same thing she doing, but I don't want to say I'm a hoe, then that's my business. That makes no sense. Just accept things for what they are. Just be like, oh, I had a whole phase, or just say I'm horn right now. You still gonna be loved. Because truth be told, and this may go viral, dudes claim hoes on the low, like they claim fat girls on the low. They act like they don't like them publicly, but deep down, they gonna claim you on the low. They may not tell nobody.
Ho's the coolest person ever. I don't know, care. Ho's mad cool. They down to earth. They know exactly what you want when you want it, how you want it. They the best. No cap. Shout out to y'all.
So with perfectionism and doing how you do, and just saying, just being not being afraid to leave the lab. Have you ever struggled with perfectionism? And if you did, how did you get over it?
Uh, I would say I feel like most people do if you actually care about your craft and how you present yourself. I was always even in school like I'm like I got the Jordans that match this hat just right, and I gotta walk this way and come in the party at this time. I was always a detail oriented person, and even with the sneakers, like sometimes I'm scrubbing something, scrubbing. It's not coming off. I use a steamer. I use bleaching cream. I use everything, and it's not coming off. And then I text the guy like, "Yo, bro, what's this?" Like, "Oh, I smoke weed. I burnt the soul with stepping the ashes out." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I can't get a burnout." You know.
Yeah,
So I feel like if you really care and you really, really like what you do, you're gonna be perfectionism. The only person that is perfect is God. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind, but you can get close as possible. You know.
exactly. I think that's good to be like to. I think we should strive for perfection, but know where it's not going to be perfect, and be okay with making a mistake. Like, just keeps you. But some people really be losing it over not having it perfect. Like, it has to be a certain way. But I keep trying to tell people, and I got friends like that. You're gonna run yourself crazy if you don't get free from that.
Yep.
So
Just do your best.
perfectionism is deeply connected to mental health issues, notably anxiety disorders, due to the relentless high standards and critical self-evaluation. According to a study, Journal of Clinical Psychology says constant pressure can manifest as social anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, and other anxiety related conditions, which intensify fear. And of course, it suggests therapy, typically focusing on moderating these inclinations, setting realistic goals, and promoting a more forgiving self perspective to improve overall health. All right, good stuff. Now, let's go to the next section, which is I challenge that. And in this segment, we just challenge whatever it is we talking about. So the first thing is, when you first started with your business, and this is the kicks situation, and clean your kicks, all right, KKK. How did your passion for fashion and sneakers help you overcome any challenges you might have faced when it first started?
At that when I so like I said, I wanted to start years ago when I got robbed, but at that point it was get down and lay down. I just bought a house, had a newborn son. My baby mom's was only one providing income in the house. So at this point, it was like sell coke, clean your shoes. Like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? So at that point, I didn't care because I had to eat.
Yeah,
So that kind of negated all the fears and the doubt, whatever.
yeah,
Um, but it just made sense, right? So if I wanted to get my shoes clean, I would go to somebody who has a lot of sneakers,
yeah,
right? And people that knew me knew I had a lot of sneakers, so they kind of trusted me. I'm not gonna rob you because I got the sneaker you have anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Like I would do videos wearing the sneaker that I'm cleaning
Okay,
on
that's a good
purpose.
marketing tool.
Like I already got these, been there, done that, but I'm gonna hold you down.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's really, you're speaking to the person, because we always have to remember, that's why we have to be, I believe in sharing testimonies, because dang, I do sound like a pastor, huh? But when you said, because you've been robbed before, so you, for someone who may be scared to that they may send their stuff to somebody get robbed, it's like, look, I ain't gonna rob you. I got literally the same shoes you got, so are you good? So it's to that inner person like you. who it is somebody like you. It's like, hey, you good, don't even worry about it. So that's a good strategy. Now, here's the thing I will say, because you've been pretty transparent on this episode. Have you ever struggled with sharing too much information?
I got a philosophy about that.
Okay.
Everybody that I follow in the sneaker industry that does what I do shared a lot of information. That's why I got to the level I'm at. Not to say that I'm the best ever, but I got pretty far because people share a lot of information, right? So if you give people value, they're gonna follow you and buy your products, right? If you
Yeah.
just post cute pictures, like, all right, there's a girl on Instagram, she looks good, she fire, she can dress good, you're gonna like the pictures. But if she starts selling t-shirts, you're not gonna buy it. You're just there for the aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I felt the more value that I gave, the more people respected me. Right? Now they think I know what I'm talking about. Because most people, you tell them, all right. So like when I get you, when I say you're a client, you be like, yo, I want to fix these. I say, okay, cool. We're gonna do a suede conditioning. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do to it, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do to it. I say, we're gonna nap the suede. Da, 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 boom, boom, boom. I'll tell you. So now you look at me like, so I treat it like a car. When you go to the mechanic, you don't know what the hell an alternator is. You don't know what you know what it is, but you don't know what it is. Like if I ask you what does an alternator do right now, you probably don't know. You know, it's not common knowledge. You know what I mean? So I try to break it down as much as possible, give you as much value as possible, so you trust as much as possible. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then I feel like Popeye's fries chicken, but Popeye's is still a $1 million corporation.
Yeah.
Everybody fries chicken. They got fried chicken spots on every corner, but nobody's doing it like Popeyes, right? Because everybody got their own swag. So I can tell you how to do it, but you ain't gonna get the same sauce as me anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no. I think you gave a good point, because I was coming from the other angle of sharing too much information. You coming from the angle of, I'm going to give you too much information, kind of like how I do with my trips. Me and my homeboys, we be going on trips. I share every piece of information, so ain't nobody got to ask no questions. And
ah
that's,
ah,
yeah.
make it crystal clear. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you doing. And it's two of my homeboys. People have called different groups have called them 21 questions. And I said, they don't ask me no questions, because it's nothing to ask. Everything is there. So, but you're doing that with your business. When I say sharing too much, I'm speaking more from the angle of being in the lab, going back to that, being in the lab, and people are like, yeah, I'm in the lab today. I'm working on this today. Why are you telling people all that? Just do it.
One is marketing.
Okay.
Two, people have short attention spans, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is why they make commercials every year. They make commercials shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter because people's attention spans are shorter. So if you got a short attention span, I have to remind you every day. And then people are so used to being faced with ads that they don't bite until the 10th ad anyway. I got a dude coming today, drop off sneakers. He said he's been following me for 4 years. I got 600 videos. So do the math. You know what I mean? So you're never oversharing. If you want money, you got to overshare.
Now, I'm going to challenge that real quick. We're in the challenge me section. Now, I'm going to challenge that from this angle.
Do it.
What about the aspect of a person who you are working on something and it's not completed yet, but you should, like, say, the person that we've all seen them, that they say they moving in silence, but they telling everybody they every move.
Yeah.
You looking green, because not even on the paranoia aspect, but I'm just all for waiting until stuff is completed in most cases. Now, of course, what I'm saying, like, you got an interview with, no, I'm gonna say Diddy, hope not. Well, no, that might be good. And let me say why. Because you gonna sit him down and let him defend himself. Would you share that before it happened, or would you just drop it?
I'm definitely giving clips. I'm showing everything. I'm showing everything. Pause. No Diddy. But I'm showing everything. I'm showing everything. I'm showing everything. I'm showing everything.
The thing with him is, with that video too, I know he's seen it. I know he's seen it. He's seen it. He's seen it. Now,
I probably won't get an interview now, but you know what I mean?
you ain't gonna do his shoes. But he can't let him do my shoes. He talked too much. Now, dealing with mixed criticism, especially from your outlandish content, I gave that name to it because I've seen a few of them. and they do be wild. But I know you're doing it for the shock factor. So this can be challenging for most people because of the what's the word I'm looking for? The feedback that you get. So, what strategies do you use to stay positive and focused? Because I'm sure it can be daunting and challenging and kind of intense at times with some of them comments. I have seen your clapbacks. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But talk about dealing with that.
Um, I mean, when I was younger, um, I didn't use certain words because if I felt like I couldn't pronounce it right, I was very self conscious, and that takes a lot of energy to not be 100% free with yourself. I dated women that had to be like, mute and monotone, or walk certain ways, or go to the bathrooms at certain times so they wouldn't like you
Same,
kind of all like, you know what I mean?
same.
And that takes a lot of energy. You have to constantly be thinking, okay, she's right there. I can go talk on the phone now because she's not working. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot. So as I got older, and my mom is like this too. My mom is really like, she don't care about anything. She gonna do what she want, how she want, when she want. And I feel like the older you get, like how the grandmas be real rude. They'll tell you fat as hell before as soon as you walk in the house. Are you fat, honey? Yeah, she can't even say hi. And mind you, they be fat too. But I feel like as I got older, I got more secure with myself. And at the end of the day, it's just a comment, right? That comment's not gonna pay my mortgage or my light bill or nothing, right? So why give it that much energy?
I think it's funny because so going to the clapbacks, and then we're gonna move to the next segment. So at this point in my life, I try not to champion clapping back. However, some of them comments, I ain't gonna lie, I was laughing because them people, I was reading because you gotta do your research on people. So I was looking at it and I was just laughing because it was one person who said something. He's like, "You worried?" He's talking about some. You need to be focused on that podcast because I did go to the podcast and but we got to start somewhere.
Trash.
I
But
didn't listen to it. I just was looking at the numbers, but we got to start somewhere. Um, what else? And it was another one where you talked about how the girl looked, and another one where the dude says something, and you just either one, you're a good faker and you playing like you don't care, or two, which I believe is the second one, you really just don't care. So based on what you just said, so I can regurgitate it to the audience, you basically saying it's much more freeing to just not care, and that you live too much, it's too much pressure on yourself to be constantly worried about what other people think. So before we move to the next segment, I would just ask, what would be a tip you could give to somebody to say who may want to be free, but they just don't feel like they can be, but they trying?
um, whether you're free or not, I feel okay. So I feel like okay, whether you're free or not, the time's gonna pass, right? So would
Okay.
you rather like okay, we already what are you 30? You 30? How old are
I'm
you?
about to be 30. Yeah.
You 30, right? So we damn near halfway gone. Keep it a bean, right? So you want to live the rest of your life trying to live up to someone else's standards, or you gonna just say forget it? Because at the end of the day, whether you kiss her ass or not, or his ass or not, you still got to pay your mortgage at the end of the day. You got the same bills, the same problems at home. You might as well just not care. Why add stress to your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why add anxiety with mental health? Right? You talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Why put more pressure and anxiety on yourself when you don't need to do that?
All right. We're going to leave it at that. Let's go to the next segment, which is the weekly sabbatical. And we're going to kind of just reminisce here. Now, this is just a quick, short question. Have you ever ran ads for your content?
No.
Okay. Okay. And now you mentioned that true love is shoe love. How do you apply this philosophy not only to your work, but in everyday life?
I feel like the feet obviously is the foundation of everybody, right? So, um, like I said, I'm still a trainer currently. Still teach about 12 to 14 classes a week. So, and I have a lot of women that are older than me or younger than me that complain about their feet all the time. So I feel like you need to change your shoes every 2 to 3 months if you're working out. If you're really in the lab, you should change your shoes every 2 to 3 months. Don't be wearing the same shoes for 5 6 years. You're destroying your feet. That's one. And two, it helps my business if your shoes get messed up and dirty. You know what I mean? It helps my business
Yeah.
out. as well. So it's a little bit selfish, but it works, you know. And also I'm a sneakerhead, so
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So then, how many pairs of shoes do you think you own?
right now about 200. I sold a lot when I bought the house and COVID and everything like that, you know.
Yeah. Now we talking about COVID. We talking about a lot of fear because that's when you think of COVID, you think of fear because that's the fear tactics that they were implementing. And like I talked about the last 2 weeks, I hope if something else ever come, y'all don't bow that quick. And if you haven't checked them out, please check out the last 2 weeks episodes. It's 2 parts with Dr. Justin Kernan. Now, in general, I kind of maybe answer my own question, but why do you think society is so fearful?
I mean, well, we have. I mean, the government puts. I mean, if the government didn't make us fearful, we wouldn't listen.
Yeah,
Like if the slave master didn't make our ancestors fearful, they wouldn't listen. They would just rebel, and because at the end of the day, they were more slaves than masters, right?
yeah,
So they could have just jumped them if you want to think about it.
yeah, yeah. And that just goes to show you how big of a impact fear has on people, and they don't even realize it. So I got a few quotes, all right, that I want to read through. The first one is from Isaiah 51:7. It says, "Do not fear the reproach of mere mortals or be terrified by their insults." The next one is I Laugh in the Face of Danger, and that's by Simba from the Lion King. And then the other one is Galatians 5:10. Am I trying to win the approval of human beings or of God, or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. So now, just hearing those verses and then quote, I'm gonna just give my take on that, and then feel free to add yours if you like. Um, I like how Simba's obviously is, I mean, they are classics technically, but Simba's is always a classic people forget about, like I Laugh in the Face of Danger. And I think you embody that. And I say that because you literally post stuff that you know people are going to drag you for and you don't care. And you laugh in the face of danger because you made the comment earlier. See, I be paying attention. You said your friends was like, you need to get a PR person because you be wilding out. Because we're gonna have to call Nick Cannon because you be wilding out.
Hey.
So now you wilding out. You like, I know your friends and family be like, bro, why you do this? I'm sure they be putting in the group chat like, why he doing this? But somebody could argue. What would be your stance to somebody who says, because I'm sure you've gotten that comment, you're doing anything for clout?
Every day, every day.
What's your response to that? Or how would you respond to somebody saying that?
99% of the time, they have 100 followers and they're rapping. So it's like maybe you should try it because it's not working, buddy. You know?
So then let me ask you this, and I ain't even plan on this. What do you think the difference is doing anything for clout and doing anything for business?
I feel like clout brings business if you're doing it. I mean, whether you're doing it right or wrong, because look at the girl, the Catch Me Outside girl. I don't think she meant to do that on purpose. Catch Me Outside. I think she was just really being serious. Like she wanted to fight. But that Catch Me Outside tagline, we still saying it 10 years later, and she's a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a millionaire. Either way, she's doing more than us. You know
I
what
don't
I
know
mean?
about billion, but
I
yeah.
don't know about Billy's, but she in Millie's. You know what I mean? So I feel like clout brings money. That's why people do it. That's why Kendrick Lamar is dissing Drake. That's why people are dissing each other. You know what I mean? Like, because it brings money. Now we talk about Kendrick Lamar. We're gonna start streaming Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is gonna benefit off these streams, right? So clout does bring money. I just there's a certain limit that everybody has that's different, right? I'm not gonna make an OnlyFans, but somebody may make OnlyFans, you know?
While he brought that up, please go stream last season's ending episode finale, which was "As a Man, Why Do You Have OnlyFans?" We did a in-depth deep dive into that,
Oh,
and just
sure.
yeah, I had it. See, that's why we love the show. It's supposed to just be happy.
How you doing, boss? Sorry, we got he's picking up. Oh, you got his order? Okay, cool. All right.
But what was about to say, yeah, just brief, just a recap of that episode where I talked about, and me and my homeboy was on that one, and we were just talking about like, as a man, why do you have OnlyFans account? Because I mean, I get the fact that you're doing it to make money, but because this podcast caters to young men, right? As a woman, that makes sense. As a man, it's something else you can do. It's something else you can do. I'm just really
I mean,
nobody should be doing it.
no funny, but is he successful? Like, was he successful with it, or you don't know? It wasn't. This is a general question.
This was no. This was a general question.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I got a
Yeah,
homie. He does it. He probably make about $100, $200 a month, which he could do doing Uber Eats. He could do Uber Eats and make the same amount. You're right. You're right. He could definitely sell some pizzas and get a $5 tip here and there and make $200 a month. He could, but he likes the attention from the 2 or 3 girls he got. You know what I mean on the thing.
we did an in-depth study on that for the episode, so we're not gonna go to that. I want everybody to watch that. Go back and stream that
Okay.
one. So now, what would you give before I get some research tips that I found and we ended off? What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are afraid to take their projects public due to fear of imperfection or criticism?
Um, Starbucks is the biggest coffee chain in the world. They started with one in Seattle. 2 Chainz then become a big famous rapper, big famous rapper until he's about 40 years old. Uh, Lil Wayne been rapping since he was 11. He's finally getting his flowers this year. 50 Cent just got his Hollywood Hawk of Fame. He came out 2003.
All right. All right, bet. So now, before we get to the last segment, let me go ahead and review a few ways if anybody is struggling to get out the lab, you stuck in the lab. So let me give a few tips that I found to go over that. All right. So the first one is setting clear deadlines. Establish firm deadlines is a fundamental step to counteract the paralysis by analysis syndrome often seen in perfectionists, and this comes from the Harvard Business Review. Deadlines force decision making and propel projects forward and break you free from the endless cycle. I know as a writer and as a content creator, I have a planner. I discuss this on my YouTube channel. Keep you a planner, not one of your phone. Get you a physical copy and write it down and look at it at least if not every day, try to do every other day because this you naturally gonna forget stuff. And I have a great memory, and I be sometimes forgetting stuff. So keep that in mind. The second one is to adopt a good enough philosophy. Embracing a good enough philosophy can significantly alleviate the pressures of perfectionism. Psychology Today explains that by accepting that not every aspect of a project needs to be perfect, individuals can prevent procrastination. And I think he talked about that earlier when he talked about the shoe trying to get one of the blunt spot out of it that he couldn't do nothing with. Where a perfectionist may do whatever it takes. They're like, no, they're gonna be on YouTube. They're gonna be trying to do every little thing to get it right. And it's like certain things you just gotta let be what it is. Um, the third one I'm just gonna read short is in quick as somebody's come from Forbes. It talks about increased incremental testing. Forbes promotes incremental testing and development as a method to overcome the hesitation of releasing a project. By breaking the project into smaller, manageable parts and testing these segments, it will make adjustments easier and less time consuming and build confidence. And then the last one comes from Inc. Magazine. Seek feedback early and often. This magazine suggests that seeking feedback early in the development process can prevent being stuck in the refinement loop. Now, with you, so did you ask for feedback from like your close friends and family or just people online when you first started the business?
So funny thing you asked. To get practice, I would take all of my friends. I have about 6 best friends. I took all of their shoes, my mom's shoes included, all the shoes from high school and college. I took all the shoes and I said, if I fix it, give me $5. If I don't worry about it. And that's how I practice. So that was my testing, technically.
All right, cool. Bet. All right, now let's move into the final segment, which is game time. This game time is called In the Lab or Being a Scab. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and I want you to tell me whether or not that person is doing a thing in the lab or they being a scab. You ready?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Is this person in the lab or being a scab? This person has decided that they want to take their cooking business seriously, but every time it's time to record content, they get sleepy.
Scab.
For sure. This person has decided that they want to take their ghostwriting for rappers seriously, and they decided to send some of their raps that they've written to Drake.
Scab. And a clown too.
All right, this person has decided that they want to go ahead and start their sneaker restoration business and started posting the sneakers that they've cleaned on Instagram and TikTok.
And a lot. We're trying.
And finally, this person has decided that they want to make their own line of seasonings, and they've been testing out different spices and sauces to get that perfect texture.
Depending on how long it took them, and a lot.
All right, good stuff. All right, so last thing for everybody. So, question or challenge for the week for everybody. What have you been putting off longer than needed? And I challenge you to expose something you've been hiding for a long time. And when I say expose, not your deep, darkest secrets, if you want to do that too, but more so something that you've been working on that you've been putting off, and sometimes posting it on social media, honestly, may kind of light the fire under you. So, um, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind with that. And yeah, so before we go, anything else you want to add, you want to pub, and before we go?
Um, I just want to say, guys, put your best foot forward with anything you do. And that's a little pun intended. Put your best foot forward. That's one of my
Yeah,
slogans. So you get to get your sneakers clean.
yeah.
Shameless plug. But put your best foot forward. We only got a certain amount of time on this earth. Most of my friends are 30 and up, so we're halfway gone. So let's make the last 30, 40, 50 years the best we can. Get as much money as you can, make as much friends as you can, and positively impact as much people as you can, because you never know when you're going to need that person again. So somebody drops some food on the floor, pick it up for them, give it to them. You know what I mean? Like you never know when you're gonna meet that person again, and they're gonna help you out. They might be the next person at your job interview, giving you a job. So try to be nice to everybody. Keep your jokes to yourself, all right? Yeah, I'm kidding.
All right, y'all. That is it for this week's episode. And also, I also proved that I'm not the only person who's intellectual and funny at the same time. You don't have to pick. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And remember, I love us.